Your digital-owned video games, digital music albums, digital movies, and TV shows are all in danger. Yes, friends, you heard it right. We all know that using any pirated piece or copy of video games, music, movies, and TV shows is logically and ethically illegal by any means, especially where they are readily available to buy 24/7 for normal consumers, either physically or digitally, or both, at specific price points, and even sometimes at a discount rate. But what about those other media that are no longer available to buy from any official and legal sources? You want to play a certain video game, but due to some licensing issues or rights issues, the publisher has stopped selling the game both digitally and physically. So now you can no longer play or buy a legal copy of the game. Let me take my scenario as an example. I want to buy this video game, Deadpool. Unfortunately, I can no longer have this game digitally on my Steam library or any other platform, just because the publisher behind this game, Activision, decided not to renew the rights for this game after this certain date. So many people like me were left behind and restricted from purchasing this game today, who didn't know about all these things and so never bought the game before it got delisted from everywhere. Also, it is much more difficult to get a brand new physical copy of Deadpool. Ultimately, in the end, we can no longer play an original, legal, and genuine copy of the game on any platform. So we have to walk on the other side of the road. Or let's just say, I want to watch some Courage the Cowardly Dog, but unfortunately I also cannot do so because neither HBO Max is officially available in my country, nor I can buy the episodes from any other platform due to regional restrictions. Now friends, let me ask, in this situation where I'm dying to play Deadpool on my gaming system, and I also want to enjoy my favorite childhood show, I am standing happily to give my money to the publishers to buy my favorite TV shows and video games, but it seems like they don't want to take my money, just because of some stupid licensing stuff and all. So tell me friends, apart from the security concerns, why shouldn't I get the game from the unofficial sources of the 7 Seas then? Isn't delisting or restricting content from first-party stores should be also considered illegal? Well, let me tell you something friends, listen to this carefully, okay? Have you ever thought why piracy is considered illegal? Well, because we are stealing a copy of some digital items, that is video games, movies, or whatever, in general, and using it without the consent of the seller. It is similar to stealing something from a store, like stealing a car from a showroom. Instead, we are stealing intangible items instead of tangible ones that lacks physical existence. In turn, it causes these video game making, music, and movie making companies to lose money, and obviously, this is totally wrong. I am against piracy and I will be always against pirated stuff, until and unless we can buy them and keep them forever. Recently I bought Sonic Frontiers on sale from Steam, which is priced at $70 in my region. Yeah, it is $10 more expensive here compared to the USD price. But, if they had never released the game in my region, then you know what I had done to even play the game. No. I wouldn't have booked a flight to migrate to some other region to play the game. Who does that? Now, my point is, in our case, companies tend to lose money only when you pirate their products which currently do exist in the digital market or storefronts. What if some of them do not exist any longer? Does the company, like in our case, when you get some ISO stuff of Deadpool from the internet and use it personally without sharing anyone, should Activision make themselves worried? No, absolutely not. Because they no longer own the rights to the game or the franchise, so even if someone steals a copy of it from the internet, they are not losing any money, because again, the game no longer exists, and, at the same time, it's not available to purchase from anywhere, legally, except of course, if they don't consider buying a second-hand, third-hand, or even a fourth-hand copy of the game to be an illegal thing to commit. But wait friends, here's another reason why some people love to go to the 7 Seas.
Man, we love the look of this museum.
If you are thinking that removing and delisting games or movies is an old thing and this no longer happens in today's modern digital era, then, unfortunately, you are absolutely wrong. Recently, Ubisoft removed the Crew game from Steam, thereby taking away the rights to even play this game from the players who already own them. Yeah, sure, you can still modify the game files to enable its offline play mode. In this way, you might be able to play the game even after Ubisoft shuts down the servers. Ubisoft could have given us a patch to enable the game's offline mode, but they didn't do so. Why? Because it's a multi-billionaire video gaming company that succeeded because of its customer base, who supports and buys their games. That's a separate thing that they cannot make every player happy, like most modern game companies nowadays. But they also should not make some of their users sad or deceived, or at least they should stop doing things that impact their goodwill negatively. Let's take another recent example. Sony PlayStation. Recently they also removed all the Discovery TV shows and content from your library without your consent, which you already owned on your PSN account. See friends, one time you bought all these digital items with your hard-earned money. Now friends, imagine this. Say, if you go to a store and buy some Lego sets for yourself, you want to keep them to yourself only. Now think after 10 years down the road, someone from the top-level management of the Lego company visits your house and says things like this.
Sir, we are here to take your Lego sets that you bought 10 years ago. We just granted you the permission, or code/uncode, the license, to only use these Lego sets. You don't own any of them according to our company policy which no one reads. Why? Because we make them in such a nasty and lengthy format. Anyways, we just decided to take everyone's old Lego sets, so that people would buy the latest Lego sets which have the latest AI features built in. And don't worry sir, no refunds will be issued, so stop worrying about that. And also, the new Lego sets costs 10 times more than the older ones. Am I forgetting something? Leave it. Enjoy sir, have a nice day ahead.
Yeah, I know that this will never happen, but who knows, maybe this even becomes possible one day. But in real time, right now, this is really happening with all of us when we buy or purchase any digital item, be it a piece or a copy of a video game, movie, music, or TV show, we technically don't own them. There's also a backwards compatibility issue. Like, you cannot play few of your older Steam games directly on modern hardware. One of the games is Max Payne. You cannot even launch the game without copy-pasting a DLL file to fix the issue. But again, it comes to the security concerns. As our respected Sir, Valve's CEO, Sir Gabe Newell, once said, that piracy is almost always a service problem, and not a pricing problem. And yes, he is 100% right. The problem is mostly in the services given by the digital storefronts. Almost every one of them has mentioned that they are just granting the access to use the content, and we are actually not owning it. But they place this point very deep inside their TNC agreement, which is very hard to notice when you have to go through these long agreements. 99% of people never read them, they click on the I agree button and move on forward. This is a very bad practice that we do most of the time. We should never agree or sign some agreements without reading the whole terms and conditions properly. But again, if you don't click on the agree button, then you might not be able to use their service at all. I understand why many people do so. I also used to do this long ago, but yeah, we can't help these established companies to make compact agreements that will be easy to read and understandable by everyone. And by making this kind of long, boring, and lengthy agreements, these companies are taking advantage of several loopholes that are there in the consumer rights and various other laws of different nations. A very few companies like Google mentioned in their policy that they provide refunds if they have to remove any content that you own from your library. I appreciate Google for doing so, but what about others? Neither you're going to get the refunds for the Discovery shows that you used to own legally, nor Ubisoft is enabling the offline play mode for the Crew video game. This is happening because we, as a consumer, are taking these things for granted. Some or most of us don't care more about the products which we bought a few years back, just because we are using the latest version of the product today. And by doing such things, many of us are already violating basic consumer rights. Even today, many of us don't actually know what our rights are as a consumer, and when and how should we apply and practice them. These were taught in our school days, and most of us didn't take them seriously, thinking that these things would never be needed in our life. But now, we all are in this position, where these companies and digital storefronts are using bad tactics to sell us more products, which we might even don't need at all, and at the same time, snatching away the products from us that we already own. So let me conclude. Yes, piracy is bad and illegal, but like other things, there are some exceptions here too. You should never pirate a video game, movie, or any other piece of content or media that is available to buy on official storefronts, be it digitally or physically. Talking about the exceptions, people often use pirated stuff not because they want to, but rather most of the time they have to when there is no other choice. Like, we cannot buy the Deadpool game, or other Activision licensed games, like the good old Spider-Man games, the Transformers games, or heck, even we can no longer buy the OG GTA trilogy from Steam. Not everyone wants to play the remastered version, right? In the end, if companies keeps on taking away our digital products that we bought legally with our hard-earned money, like this, then I think that it is not the normal users or consumers, rather these big giant companies are indirectly encouraging us to find another route to access their content. It is time now, there must be end to this no digital ownership thing, regional restrictions, things like that. Piracy is not the solution to these problems. It is bad for both companies and their users. These companies must be responsible in preserving all their content, which should be easily accessible by anyone. And removing things from your library without refunds and your permission is a crime. I don't care what the terms and conditions says, it does not make things right, which is wrong. It is what it is. There's always two sides of a coin. On one side, piracy is bad when you pirate stuff that you can buy from official sources. And on the other side, piracy is good, since it preserves old and retro video games, movies, TV shows, and music albums, from which the studios or the publishers are earning nothing, as those content no longer belongs to them. Yes, it cannot preserve older game hardware, but you can always use open source emulators to play them on different systems. A huge thanks to the retro gaming communities for supporting retro game preservations and emulation. Game preservation in this digital era should have not been a big issue. We cannot totally preserve a digital copy of content, because they are locked behind the DRM systems of these digital stores and their online servers. And this thing also applies to the physical games, which comes with a day one patch or compulsory update. So, friends, it's time to raise our voices to protect our rights as a consumer. Be it a physical or digital product, tangible or intangible item, both must be seen and treated equally, as we are spending the same real money and currency notes to buy them. There are currently no proper laws of consumer protection regarding digital goods and items. You cannot even sell your digital goods, or buy any second-hand digital item from others. So yeah, it is correct that we don't have full control on our digital things over physical ones. I know, nothing will be changed from this single video, but there is someone needed to kick the gear first. So I thought to make this video. And thank you friends for watching the video. Share this video as much as you can, so that more people gets aware of the scummy business structures adopted by those companies. Maybe that's why they say, if purchasing digital items is not owning, then pirating them is also not stealing. But again friends, using unofficial stuff might infect your device with various malwares. So don't do this unless you have to. It's your choice ultimately, but please always maintain cautions. And with that being said, let us know friends about your thoughts, and do you agree with all these points? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment box down below. Thank you so much friends for watching our video. Wishing you all a great day ahead, and I will see you in this video and in the next one.